In this presentation, we will create another purchase order. This time we will add an inventory item as we create the purchase order. In other words, those inventory items are those items that are going to help us to set up the purchasing documents, such as the purchase order, as well as the sales documents, the invoices, and the sales receipt. We will set that inventory item up as we go through the purchase order process. Let's get started with Sage 50 Cloud Accounting. Here we are in our Get Great Guitars file. We're currently in the Vendor and Purchases section. We're going to be creating another invoice as we did in the past. This time we're going to be adding an inventory item. Just remember that as we add the purchase order, it's not something that's going to be affecting the financial statements. It is in essence a request for inventory. No inventory affected. No payment has been made. Therefore, no effect on the financial statements. So we're going to be opening up the purchase order. We're going to say we want a new purchase order. And this one, I'm gonna make this large again up top, make that large. This one's gonna be going to Gibson, which I don't think we have yet. So I'm gonna be typing in a new vendor. Let's go new down here, and we'll see if we can add in the new vendor. So I'll make this large. I'm just gonna put the minimal information for the vendor, which is just gonna be Gibson. Gibson's another guitar. They sell guitars. We buy guitars and then we sell them. So it's going to be Gibson, and then I'm going to put the account. So the account I'm going to say is going to be inventory. So I'm going to go back up top. We want to say that we're going to be purchasing inventory will be the default account. Those are only the required fields that I'm going to be filling out here. Obviously, if it was a major vendor, we would probably want all the contact information, but I'm just going to be going at this time in the major fields. So then I'm going to say, let's go ahead and save. I'm going to say save. And then we'll close this back out. We'll close that one back out. And then we want Gibson. So Gibson should now be there. And there it is. So mailing address, we don't have one because we didn't populate it in there. Kind of like we probably should have, but I didn't. Then we got the shipping to. We're going to, this is our address in 90210 area code. And then we're going to say that the date is going to be 011220. And then we'll say that we want a quantity. I think it's just one that we're going to have. And then the new item, we need the new service item here. It's actually going to be an inventory item. So I'm going to select the item, the magnifying glass, the drop down in essence. And then we're going to go to new. So I'm going to make a new one, new service item as we go, new inventory item as we go. The item ID I'm going to say is a GSB, which is going to be a new thing here for us. It's going to be a Gibson SB, which is a type of guitar, I believe. And we're going to copy that. And then it's going to be a service. So we want to make this a stock item. So it's something that we do want to be tracking the inventory for. When we sell it, we want it to be showing Gibson SB. And when we purchase it, we want it to show in the description the Gibson SB. Then the price level is going to be the 598. And then we'll tab through this here. So then the unit cost. So the unit cost is going to be, actually the price, we're going to change that price. That's going to be the cost up there. The price, what we sell it for, is going to be the 777.4. And then the cost is going to be the 598. So that's how we want to have it. It's going to be the FIFO method, the cost flow assumption, like all of our inventories have been. And then we're going to say that the sales tax is going to be $4,000 for the income account. That's correct. When we sell it, there, in that case, it's going to be taking the $4,000, which will be the sales account. Then inventory is going to be increasing when we buy it, not now, but when we enter the bill, it will be increasing the inventory account for it. And then we're going to say that the cost of goods sold, so when we sell this type of item using an invoice or sales receipt, it's going to be going to the cost of goods sold account. So we need all that information. Is it going to be taxable? Yes, it's subject to sales tax because it's in the U.S. and we have a actual physical inventory items which will typically be subject to sales tax. I'm not going to put the minimum stock or the reorder point for our practice problem. And once again, we're never going to really touch those beginning balances again because we've already set those up. So we don't want to get into those items. So then I'm just going to save what we have here. Let's go ahead and save this. And then we can close it. I can close it here. I usually use the X's to close on the right, but that X on the left is kind of convenient. So I might start using that more often. Then we're going to say that now this is going to be, we can select it now that we have the Gibson SB, or let's just call it a GSB. There's the one. The description now populates for us just like it should. So that looks good. And that's going to be it. So we'll record this. There's not going to be any effect on the financials. So I'm just going to say, let's save this one. And then I'm going to say, okay, that's good. And then I'll close this out. And then once again, we will have a bill. We're going to imagine that Gibson like showing up in our warehouse with a bill attached to it. And then we're going to go to the bill and we will then enter it at that point, which at that point, accounts payable would increase and the inventory would increase at that point. If we want to view the purchase order, we can go to view and edit the purchase order here. I want to take a look at it for the entire year. So I'm going to say this year. Now we've got these 2 purchase orders that we expect to be seen at some point coming through. Also, just note that if we look at the inventory items, if we go to inventory and service items, this is where we set up that inventory item. So if I go to inventory items and we take a look at the view, the inventory items, this is where we went basically last time to set up the inventory items. So notice we kind of just set them up or set up a new inventory item as we go, and that was the GSB. So there's the GSB here. No effect on the financial statement, so we won't even check them this time. And so that's going to be it for now. Let's get out of here.